It looks like it is live. Hey, Internet friends, this is MagicBrad, Synergy Cafe. I'm here in Asheville, North Carolina, and I've got a friend of mine that I just met, and he is in, I believe, Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I used to live, or he's in the Twin Cities or something like that. So his name is Joe, and Joe, are you there?
I am here, Brad.
And are you from Minneapolis?
I am from Minneapolis, yes.
Okay.
So.
I missed the place, but I spent 55 years there, and I had to pull up stakes and move down to Asheville, North Carolina, where it wasn't so cold, because you guys experienced a very cold winter.
Yep, I don't blame you for that. I've been having that conversation with a lot of people this spring. So.
Okay, yeah, we had talked a little bit about Costa Rica. Is that one of the possibilities?
Absolutely.
It's warmer there. Okay. Well, what I do is I just ask a few questions, who, what, where, when, how, and why, and then we'll get into some basic conversation. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Who are you? Who's
Very
Joe?
good. So my name is Joe Allen. I'm a real estate broker in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with RE/MAX Results. I've been in the real estate business for 10 years, and I'm very happy to be here and be talking to you about investment real estate this morning. It's a topic that I'm very passionate about. I absolutely love what I do, and that's helping people in real estate get from where they are to where they want to be.
So that's sort of the who and the what already. Where do you do it? You do it just primarily real estate in Minneapolis there?
Yep, Twin Cities metro area. I go out of the metro a ways when the business takes me there. But primarily Twin Cities area.
So we had mentioned Costa Rica. Is there any real estate you can, as a broker, can you sell real estate in Costa Rica?
I have referral relationships in pretty much every major metropolitan area. I'm a part of a national group where...
Okay, well, Costa Rica is international, so does that work?
International works as well.
Okay. That's the internet.
Part of a pretty tight-knit national group. I meet with about 100 brokers from every major market in San Diego every 3 months, and we network and exchange referrals and market information and what the trends are and what's working and not working in each one of our markets. So. Okay,
so as far as like the when question, when do you work like regular hours, or are you kind of like whenever you pick up your phone, that's when you're working? Is it?
Well, I love what I do, and I do this really more than full-time, because in addition to this being my career, it's also my passion and hobby. So I do get, I'm pretty much always on unless I have a time-blocked day or half a day off, and in that case I have a staff and a team that steps in to help with my clients as well.
Okay, that kind of answers the next question, which was how do you do it? And it kind of sounds like you have other people that can help you do things when you're not necessarily available. And
yeah.
So I've got the big question now, and
Sure.
That is why? Why do you do it? I know that there's maybe some money and it's an occupation or a job or what everybody thinks they're supposed to have these days, but there must be something deeper of why is it that it's real estate? Why aren't you a barista at Starbucks?
Sure. Well, for me, it's really about being a contribution to others, and I really believe in this famous saying that Zig Ziglar said: "You'll get everything in life that you want if you only help enough people get what they want." And in real estate, you can have such a big impact on others, and I love to have an impact on others and be able to make a difference. And I can do that in real estate. So.
Okay, yep. That's almost the exact same answer I get from everybody that I interview on this. It's about helping other people. That's why they're doing all this stuff, which is refreshing, because the internet, although it's wonderful, it's separated a lot of people. Its intention was to be able for us to communicate with grandma and things like that at a distance, but it's really separated a lot of people where they are on the internet all the time. Look, watch people at the cafes and stuff. They're on laptops or they're looking at their phones and they're not connecting anymore. So what you're looking to do is to help people, and that's what I'm doing. This is to take the online chatter and bring it back into real life activity. So part of the whole synergy concept is to bring people together at mastermind retreats and seminars and workshops and educate them about lifestyle. So real estate is definitely a lifestyle because you need to have a roof over your head. And some people have a cabin and leisure places, things like that. I'm invested in REITs, which I'm sure you understand what they are, but some of the viewers might not. And what it stands for is Real Estate Investment Trusts. And I got into that because Maslow said everybody needs shelter.
Absolutely.
So that's a good investment, and it's doing very good for me. And I think real estate had its issues. We had a home improvement expo that I used to produce in Minneapolis with one of the expo guys, and we had a hard time during the real estate slump, just like everybody else did. But it comes back because we need a place to stay.
Absolutely.
So that's the who, what, where, when, how, and why question. Now we can just get into some general stuff. Do you know what REITs are? Are you invested in REITs or?
I don't personally invest in REITs, but I think it's a great option for someone who wants to have that security that real estate can provide, and be able to invest in real estate very passively and hands-off. So it certainly is a great area of diversification.
Right. That's the I'm in it because of the hands-off part of it, because I know some people that have bought like duplexes and they live on one side and then they got another person they bring on the other side, and it doesn't work out the way they planned sometimes.
Yes.
But and I also thought about buying a place in Bali, and I was going to retire there, and I had a place that I had found that had a little space to do events and yoga retreats and things of that sort. So I think real estate is a good investment. Still, buying a house, people used to think that it is an asset, but it is a liability until you get sucker paid off.
Yeah.
So ask me a question instead of let's flip the interview. Ask me a question about real estate real estate.
Okay. Well, I guess with your viewers and your audience, what do you think they would be interested in? What are some questions that you think they may have?
I think one of the first things, because the categories that I deal with, career, relationships, spirituality, wellness, and the other one is finance.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the real estate sort of falls into. But I think they would be interested to know how to actually trust people, because remember when all those mortgage people came in and there was all that, what do they call it, the predatory lending and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
I think that's what people need to know, is to actually trust the real estate person that they're working for, because we know that you're going to get a cut of everything.
Absolutely. Great question, Brad. Well, there's a couple points that I'm going to make along those lines. And the first one is, I think when you're working with any real estate broker, is you want to form a relationship with them other than strictly a transactional relationship. And if you sense that the broker is strictly working with you on a transactional level, and they are not asking you some deeper questions about what is important to you, that's kind of a red flag that should be thrown up, that, hey, this person is maybe in it for not the right reasons, or they're in it to maybe not necessarily looking out for your best interest. And I think that so much of real estate investing, has to do with planning, and planning around your life. So, there's a lot of real estate investment gurus out there who teach how to make $1 million in 2 years or whatever, and they have these different boot camps, and there's some great things that can be learned from those. Myself personally, I paid probably over $100,000 and traveled the country and went to many of these boot camps, and I've definitely learned a lot from them and have pulled out pieces of information that have been helpful. But what it really comes down to, I think, is planning your real estate investments based on your life planning. And so when you're looking at making a real estate investment, starting with the end in mind and saying, okay, I am looking to invest for my kids' colleges here, and planning around and creating a strategy around that. And that's something that I do with my investors, is I really get to the why. I love Simon Sinek. and his TED Talk and his book Start With Why. And that's really how I approach the process when I'm working with an investor is what is our why behind this? Why do we want to invest in real estate? And where I see people get into trouble is they just get excited because they read a book or they went to a seminar and they get into real estate without a purpose, and it's hard to have a sound strategy around it when you don't have a purpose. But if you go into it knowing, okay, my goal is, my kids are in elementary school, and in 10, 15 years I want to be able to fund college for them, there's a certain strategy that we can go about in buying, maybe a property for each kid and saying, okay, here we're projecting we're going to have $50,000 at this point to fund the school. Or same thing if we're planning for retirement, or if we're planning if somebody's motivation is to get to a certain level of passive income so that they can leave their full-time job or free them up for other things. So I kind of am ranting a little bit here.
Oh, I get it. That makes a lot of sense, because if a person is planning, say their kids, and they want their kids to go to Harvard, it might make good sense to invest in real estate around the college in case the kid wants to actually live there, or they can talk about it and sell the real estate or rent the real estate. So it makes sense to have a plan, because if you bought a place in Albuquerque and the guy's going to college in New York, so it makes sense. So you work with people on that level and find out, who is it, Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind?
Absolutely.
That kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So you kind of figure out where you're going first. That makes sense.
So I think that's definitely a factor in the trust there, is that you're working with somebody that is looking at your whole picture a little more holistically, and is really looking to help you get from where you are to where you want to be, not just do a single transaction and make a commission off of you.
Right. So you're willing to go out and have dinner and go golfing and get to know each other before you have somebody sign the big contract, right?
Absolutely. It's important to form that relationship.
See, that makes sense, because like I said, the categories that I'm dealing with in Synergy Ventures is one of them is relationships. So you should have a relationship with your real estate broker in the finance end or the career end. Makes total sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was looking at, we started a little bit late on this. It's about 11:25, so we got still some more time. We can chat. What other questions should we go for on the real estate end?
Well,
I bought a house in Golden Valley, and unfortunately, we moved before it got to be valuable enough to make any money off it. Other than that, I had a house in Fridley that's still there. Okay. But I don't understand all that stuff. You got paperwork that's this thick, and you got to sign 1 billion times. Your hand gets all sore from writing. Why don't they just have one place to sign off on everything? Why is there so many different signatures in a contract? Are they all separate contracts?
That stack of paperwork continues to grow, and even from the time when I started 10 years ago, we had a basic contract that was probably 10 pages, and it was handwritten, carbon copy on legal paper, and you ripped it apart and you gave one copy to your client, and then you kept a copy. Now I'm doing e-signature contracts that are 50 pages long. So yes, the amount of complexity that goes into a transaction has been increasing, and that's why it's so important that you're working.
I suppose it's all the little things, like you got to make sure you have a carbon monoxide detector, and you got to sign off on it. Yes, I have all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
I always thought people should just get their birth certificate and says, "I'm responsible for my own actions."
Yep. I like it. So I guess another question I get a lot is what is the opportunity right now?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I know that like I said, it was bad and it's on its way up. Is it? You think it's still ascending, or is it going to start going down again? Or?
Well, right now we're in a very strong seller's market, and this appears to be the case across the country for the most part. What I'm learning from these brokers in this national group that I'm in, most markets are in the same boat where we have a low inventory right now of homes for sale, and so that's been pushing prices up quite a bit. From 2012 to 2013, most markets went up 10 to 15%, pretty large jump. And there's a report that comes out. It's called the Home Price Expectation Survey, and this survey is a combination of about 100 economists, the head of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, all of these people, and they all give their opinion as to where is the market going, projecting where are prices going in the next 5 years. And then they merge all of their opinions and they come up with this report. And the report is basically showing that our market is starting to stabilize. And this year they're projecting...
I have a question.
Yep.
Not to interrupt, but I just did. Not to interrupt, but I just did.
Yep.
This is just a thought that I had, that I've noticed a lot of people are saying, I want a leisure lifestyle. I want my life back. Is there anything that's indicating that people are buying more leisure-type properties, like maybe stuff that's up north and they're going to live there, or back in the woods, or is it still the old, a regular residential block with a house, or are people wanting to be more or lifestyle-based house?
Yeah, absolutely. Those second homes and vacation properties are starting to pick up again. The last several years, that market has been very depressed. And so now that the economy is starting to turn, jobs are starting to return, we're starting to see more people making those purchases before they see prices increase on those properties.
Wow.
I'm also starting to see some people, around here make purchases in where they're planning to retire in Florida, Arizona, right now, and just hold them as rental properties until they actually make that move in 5 or 10 years or down the road, just so that they can get in at today's prices and today's interest rates.
That makes sense. And then when they retire, they go evict the person that's there, or maybe move in with them. Who knows? Set them up as the gardener or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to close it off now, because I don't like to take too much time from people. I like to do these short, quick, and to the point, so that people can see who you are and what you're all about, and if they're interested in what you do, and they might want to contact you. So I'm going to ask you to provide me with some links to your website and how to contact you and things. And I then, like I've mentioned, this goes up to YouTube, and then I propagate it on a blog and out to social media and get it out to the world so everybody knows, because a rising tide lifts all boats, as they say. Sure. So if you want to stick around, we can chat after this, but I'm going to sign off on this. So is there anything else you might wanted to comment on?
No, I'll just add this. I love real estate. I love this business. Happy to talk to anyone who ends up watching this video here that has an interest in even just talking about real estate. Even if you're in another market, would like another opinion on something, would love to connect.
I love that. Collaboration, cooperation beats competition all day long.
Absolutely.
Okay, peace, love, and happiness to all you viewers out there, and thanks again, Joe, for spending some time, and stick around and we'll chat after. Thank you.
Okay, great.